Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And happy Thanksgiving. Of course, many of you are in the UK or elsewhere and may not be celebrating it, but here in jolly old America, Thanksgiving Day is quite a monumental event, time to be with family. I would say equal more or less unto Christmas. And so it's Thanksgiving Day here today, and I'm feeling very thankful and grateful to Srila Prabhupada. During Guru Puja this morning, I was doing some little videos, and I was thinking, I have so much to be thankful and grateful for. And then I realized, and really the person I owe most all of that to, apart from my wife, is Srila Prabhupada. Because really, he just picked me up out of the deluge of the material energy and has given me some hope in life. And even though my mind is still has a tendency to moan and complain about this, that, and the other thing and everything, but Prabhupada has really definitely saved me. So I'm very grateful, feeling very thankful to Srila Prabhupada today. Anything you're feeling grateful and thankful for besides your amazing and wonderful husband?
Loads. Besides you.
Loads besides me. Very good. I'm happy about it.
Anyway. I mean, Thanksgiving isn't a thing for me at all. Obviously, the concept of being grateful is. I'm grateful to my parents for bringing us up in a very spiritual and religious atmosphere and keeping us culturally inclined and protected. And I'm grateful to Prabhupada for basically opening the whole spiritual world up and coming to this horrible place and tolerating so much in order to do that. That's quite, the cleanliness and the austerity and the people and their cleanliness, they put up with a lot. I just, for a gentleman of his age and environment they came from, I don't know how he did it actually, I really don't. So, thank you to Prabhupada.
Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Alright, it's Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 27.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 27 of the chapter 27. After hearing the statement of Kalakanya, daughter of time, the king of the Yavanas began to smile and devise a means for executing his confidential duty on behalf of Providence. He then addressed Kalakanya as follows. Purport. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, text 142, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabya Britya, Yare Achi Nachayas Se Chachi Kare Nritya.
I'm so grateful to Bhava Bhakti's parents for bringing her up culturally inclined, sticking strictly with the principles of Vedic culture, especially her Sanskrit pronunciation.
That ain't Sanskrit though, is it? That's Bengali.
It's Bengali. Oh, okay. And so when we get to the Sanskrit verse, we'll feel more grateful.
I'll just continue before I was interrupted. Actually, the Supreme Controller is the personality of Godhead Krishna, and everyone is his servant. Yavana Raj, the king of the Yavanas, was also a servant of Krishna. Consequently, he wanted to execute the purpose of Krishna through the agency of Kalakanya. Although Kalakanya means invalidity or old age, Yavana Raj wanted to serve Krishna by introducing Kalakanya everywhere.
Sorry. Thanks, Yavana Raj.
Yeah. Thus, the same person, by attaining old age, will become fearful of death. Foolish people engage in material activities as if they will live forever. and enjoy material advancement. But actually, there is no material advancement. Under illusion, people think that material opulence will save them. But although there has been much advancement in material science, the problems of human society, birth, death, old age, and disease are still unsolved. Nonetheless, foolish scientists are thinking that they have advanced materially. When Kalakanya, the invalidity of old age, attacks them, they become fearful of death if they are sane. Those who
Important point.
Those who are insane simply do not care for death, nor do they know what is going to happen after death. They are under the wrong impression that after death there is no life, and consequently they act very irresponsibly in this life and enjoy unrestricted sense gratification. For an intelligent person, the appearance of old age is an impetus to spiritual life. People naturally fear impending death. The king of the Yavanas tried to utilize Kalakanya for this purpose. Yeah. Well, it is true that old age is very sobering. And you kind of think, gosh, where did the time go? And how can I get more time? Isn't it? The first bit of grey hair. And you're like, what's happening? Or maybe you just put a little bit of weight or something. I was sort of seeing this very famous person. I won't name them because I don't want to get sued. But they recently, well, you'll know who it is if I say it. Maybe you won't. Hopefully you don't. They recently had their birthday and they turned 70. And everyone was like, oh my God, because they're very wealthy. So they had engaged clearly some very good plastic surgeons because they looked younger than their daughters who are in their 30s. I mean, there was not a wrinkle in sight. Genuinely, they look, I'm not saying I aspired to be like that, but they looked good, you know. And then someone pointed out, as it is, because you can always rely on commentators on social media to sober you up, you know, the keyboard warriors that will just not say it to your face maybe, but they're behind the keyboard, so they were like, have you noticed how this person always wears gloves? And the reason they wear gloves is because you think you're fighting off old age and impending death by doing this, that, the other, cosmetic surgery, whatever, and then they found a picture where the person didn't have gloves, and it looked like death warmed up, because they're 70. Not that 70 is old, no offense to anyone, but it's old, but not old. And it was like, whoa, you know, and then you think, and that's why they're always wearing gloves. And then I was thinking, you know, and that must be so sobering and actually scary as well for them, because if you spend that much money and if you're trying to hide your fear through that much money and changing your appearance, which is what you're doing, I'm hiding my fear, I don't want to see that I'm getting old and like Kalakanya is upon me and death is coming, I don't want to see that, so I'm trying to do different things. But at the end of the day, when I sit down and, you know, take off your gloves or whatever, it's there. You can't hide it. You can't. And even if you do, because you remain fit or you know, whatever, liposuction, whatever people do, I'm saying to stay in shape, or what is it, Ozempic, whatever, you know, the new weight loss drugs that everyone's doing and that.
I'm getting sick from, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. but you can't defeat Krishna in these different forms, you know, so you can't defeat. He set up the material body. Krishna's the creator. He set it up in a certain way, which means it is going to decay. You can't defeat that, you know. You know, it's like if you have this iPad, it was set up by, what was his name? Steve Jobs. To do some specific things, you know, and I might try and manipulate and do and that, but it's gonna work and do what it's meant to do. I might say I'm going to turn it into a PC, or I'm going to turn it into an aeroplane. Well, you're not going to do that. It's going to do what it's meant to do. So Krishna set up the material body in a way that birth, old age, dwindling, and Kalakanya is going to meet everyone. And it's going to dwindle, and it's going to decay, and it's going to expire, basically. And it's that fighting at the end of the day with Krishna that you can't defeat God. You can't defeat Krishna. So it's quite sobering. It's like I'm up against an opponent that I'm never going to win against, And that's quite like, oh my God, it's so sobering. Unless, as King Yavana is trying to set up for us, we come to our senses, and Prabhupada says we become sane and surrender to Krishna.
He didn't say we become sane. He says you have to be sane.
No, that's what I mean. Okay, you have to, but become sane. So become like sober. Come to your senses. It's like, don't act like a crazy person, because you can't win. You can't win against this person, which is Krishna. This is his domain. This is his playground, and he set it up how he set it up.
Can't cheat death.
Yeah. It's quite.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Yeah, people are definitely trying to hide from old age and the principles of old age.
Yeah.
And because, it reminds them that death is coming, and that I don't know how much more time I have, and I don't know how I'm going to go. Is it going to be in a car accident? Is it going to be cancer? Is it going to be a heart attack? Is it going to be just like rotting away in old age? I mean, it's quite a scary thing, and, we want to kind of forget about it. Of course, devotees theoretically should be in a space in which we're aware, and Prabhupada kind of leans on it, we're aware of it, we know it's coming, and we're preparing for it. Some gentleman came yesterday here to Matchless Gifts. He saw the diorama of changing bodies in the window, and the verse, Dehino Shmenyata Dehe, is there, the non-permanent apparent, not the embodied soul continuously passes in this life. So he saw that, and he came in, he asked, do you have a Bhagavad Gita? Do you give them away? And he was looked like he was more or less homeless guy, but he was also Muslim background. And then I got the verse for him. He read it, and and he was kind of in this space of like, well, he asked about accountability actually. He said, but there's no accountability here. And I believe that there is accountability. And in Islam, there's accountability. And I said, you only read one verse of an entire book. How can you say that it's just talking about one thing? And then I started mentioning that it means that basically this body is going to come to an end. And if we haven't understood the accountability process, then the infallible accountability is going to draw us back into another body, and we're going to have to repeat things again until we learn it, until we take shelter of God. And so, but most people don't have that understanding. So death is just a fearful thing that they don't know, like Prabhupada said, what's coming next. And because of that, let me try to avoid it, pretend it's not there. What's the next verse? How's the purport looking?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. So we'll read one more. This is text number 28. The king of the Yavanas replied, after much consideration, I have arrived at a husband for you. Actually, as far as everyone is concerned, you are inauspicious and mischievous. Since no one likes you, how can anyone accept you as his wife? Well, that's pretty blatant, isn't it? He didn't beat around the bush. Purport. After much consideration, the king of the Yavanas decided to make the best use of a bad bargain. Kalakanya was a bad bargain, and no one liked her. But everything can be used for the service of the Lord. Okay, interesting. Thus, the king of the Yavanas tried to utilize her for some purpose. The purpose has already been explained. That is, Kalakanya as jara, the invalidity of old age, can be used to arouse a sense of fear in people so that they will prepare for the next life by engaging in Krishna consciousness. So it's an interesting point that, yeah, that I often use this example, which I heard once, that, you know, there are two motivating factors in life. One is sort of inspiration, a positive inspiration, and the other is fear. And out of the two, people are mostly motivated by fear. They're more quick to act in a fearful situation. Whereas the tendency when you have like a positive incentive or a positive motivation is very gradual, and the tendency is to procrastinate. But if someone makes you afraid of something, you act on it immediately. I could give zillions of examples. One is if a doctor tells you you're going to die from cancer, lung cancer, if you don't stop smoking. You try to stop smoking. If doctor tells you, you know, if you don't lose weight, you're going to get this disease or heart disease or diabetes or whatever it is, and you need to exercise, then you go and start exercising. If someone tells you, if you hear something and that you're drinking water that has microplastics in it and it's going to cause this, that, and the other thing, then you try to change what, you know, we live in a world that is fear-driven. And just going by was the police, right? Someone says, I'm going to call the police, or you hear the police coming, or you hear ambulance coming. It generates fear, which often is a motivator. So it can be good. And in this instance, we see that actually King Yavana he's trying to use that for a good purpose in Krishna's service. Of course, our general motivating factor is not one of fear, but it's one of love. So we don't try to convince people they should do something or they're going to suffer. There are other religions that really use that as a strong motivating factor. But one of the things I appreciated about Krishna consciousness is that we use the principle of love and generating love for God and love from God to motivate us to act. So, but a good dose of fear don't hurt sometimes, because, you know, we get lethargic, we get lazy, misguided, and above all, always confused, as the Bhagavatam says. So like that. Any thoughts?
No. I'm feeling
cold?
Lethargic. Misguided, confused.
Okay. On that happy note, just again, very grateful and thankful to all of you for tuning in and watching and commenting and subscribing and sharing and whatever the other things are. And liking. But we're grateful to you that we're able to do what we like to do and share it with you, and that you may be getting some benefit. So please write down in the chat below. Please write something that you are grateful for, something that you feel thankful for, or someone that you feel thankful for. Hare Krishna. Happy Thanksgiving. Hari Bol.